probably knows how to put you there. If God wanted you in California, he probably knows how to put you there. If God wanted you where T.D. Jakes was, he would have put you there. If he wanted you to be where Noel Jones is, he would have put you there. You got to understand that God is not a blithering idiot like some of us in our minds think. He will put you where you're supposed to be. Your problem is where he puts you at you don't like. You don't like it because something on the inside of you has not been elevated enough to deal with where he placed you. You know, you got to understand that he will always put you in a place of need, not in a place of greed or not in a place where you think you ought to be of ease for you. And so I tell people all the time, you got to bear your cross. That term Christianity, which I don't like, or that term I'm saved, that's not a slogan that you say, that's a cross that you bear. And we got many people who cannot bear their cross because they want ease. He never promised us a flowery bed of ease. Yesterday was your birthday, Kirby, or today? When is your birthday? In the morning. Amen. We got that right. And so being in our fast month, you know, a lot of times God just begins to minister to you and talk to you about certain things. This is crazy. These phones now, they got face recognition. Yeah, that's terrible. Yes. But I got a text this morning from TJ, who never texts before church, but he has a word. And then it's 2 words, and I'm going to be in, I want you to put those words, Naquan and Charlene, I want you to put those words on the screen for me, because these words will not leave me. Y'all can be seated, preachers. Thank you. Keep doing that for a second, David. I'll get them out of this in a minute. There's 2 words that are hidden in our vocabulary. I tell you what, because my definitions were more connotative than dictative. Just put eugenics and then put gentrification. Just put them one on top of the other if you could do that. And then I'll explain the definitions. But these 2 words, because I've been dealing with some stuff, and people think I'm losing my mind because it's not normal stuff. In order to be a difference maker, you got to be different. Let me say that again. In order to be a difference maker, you got to be different. Too many of us try to fit in, and too many of us have expelled ourselves from the word yetzer, the Hebrew word or the Aramaic word yetzer. It means to fit, to make, to work, to form. That word means I could tell time, don't mean I could build a watch. Okay. I could tell time, don't mean I know how to make a clock. I could drive a car, don't mean I know how to fix one. I could live in a house, don't mean I know how to build one. And a lot of us misconstrue God because what looks easy from your vantage point might have some intricacies in it that you would have no idea what needs to be done. I don't want to bore you to death. That's enough, David. That's enough. Good to see you and Jermaine up here on the instruments. And so, and I'm sure that you're familiar with these words because my ministry, lately, people who have invited me to preach, they'll even tell me, they said, you did a good job, but you know we can't bring you back. And I say, I know it. I know it because I'm not the evangelist that perks it. My job is to shift everything and every place I go. I've come to grips to understand my position on this earth in this season, Vic. And in understanding that, first of all, one has to look at what's going on around us. Good to see you, Tanya. And I know you've been in school and you've been working and all that good stuff. You and Jackie, all y'all doing all that good stuff, trying to make yourselves better. When you could look at something and see it, Bill, and then not get messed up by it, but know that there's a burden in your spirit to correct it. Yes, sir. See the harvest? Many of us see a problem and we run from it. We see an issue and we're looking for an escape route. You want stuff fixed before you get there. Even if you might be the antidote, because your spirit is crossed up. Somebody told me one day, they said, you know what, this individual has 1 foot in and 1 foot out. No, both of your feet ought to be out. You can't go nowhere with 1 foot in and 1 foot out. Either you're all in or you're all out. And as it relates to my ministry, the way that I've ministered, I've been doing it almost 40 years, and God has blessed me in what I do. I never want hostages. I want volunteers. I don't want hostages. I don't want you coming to this church because you think you got to. Because where I'm going means that God is just going to do what he's going to do. With you or without you. You got to understand one thing about God. One monkey ain't never stopped no show with God. Even if I'm the monkey. In 40 years, I've had to share with people, even in Sumter, when God allowed me to start that church. There wasn't nobody with me. Started it from scratch. Broke ground before the bank said yes. My ministry over 40 years, David, has endured everything. Scandals, divorces, people throwing dirt in the game, folk doubting me, calling me false prophet, saying he's no good. But for some reason, God has allowed me to maintain and withstand whatever opposition has come against me. Because when the enemy comes in like a flood, there's one thing I believe God for. That is, I believe God and God only. And can't nothing make this church work except God. Unless the Lord builds the house. They that labor, they labor in vain unless the Lord watches over the city. They watch in vain. It ain't about nothing nobody can or can't do. It ain't about your abilities. It ain't about your intellect. It's about if God be for me. Who then? Man, I've been there, man. I've been around that block. I've had people hate me in my own ministry. Had people challenge me in my own ministry. I had to believe God because I ain't going to fight my own battle because I found out you get your own knuckles scraped in. you might be winning and get cut up, you know. TJ sent me a message down, and it's crazy because, y'all remember it was TJ before we got into this building that sent me a text about God said the building is yours. That's before we got in here. That's before we got in here. Let me tell you today, if the word I preach hit you today, it meant I didn't want to miss you today. If the shoe fit, change it. Because I'd rather be with God on one side of the street than the whole world on the other side of the street. Because if God be for me, who could be against me? And so TJ sent this morning. He never does this, and he did it this morning. He said, Bishop, the Lord put this in my spirit this morning. Grace Cathedral Upstate supply line is prayer, preaching revelation, giving, worship, and discipleship serving. He said the enemy's job is to starve out those 5 areas. He says growth will take place when these 5 areas only, are perfected or matured. That means, what is your role for being here? I know I'm here. God didn't have to take me from Sumter. Oh, I had it going on there. Anybody that knew me, a lot of y'all upstaters, y'all didn't know, but anybody that was I had it going on there. You couldn't get a seat. You had to come early to I had 2 services. You couldn't get a seat. You couldn't get a seat at Bible study because that's what God did. So when God takes me, he says, you've outgrown that. And he brings me here. You know what? It doesn't matter. Somebody said, well, you know, something's doing so good and this, that, and the other. I want them to, you know. That's my DNA. I ain't got no problem with them doing good. What if they split from you? That's them. Let me tell you something, though. Let me tell you something so you'll understand. If you forget and dishonor where you came from, you got to deal with the consequences of what that buffer or what that insulation did. See, the hell I went through means they shouldn't have to go through the same hell. So you disconnect me, now you get a direct shot. Can you handle the shot that I took? Oh, y'all ain't gonna like me in here. That's the reason why God's structure is so real, because God said, let me get a vessel, let me get a captain here. And that captain has to go through enough hell, he or she, to take whatever they got to take so that the siblings won't have to deal with the same stuff. But whenever you think it's easy for you because somebody took the resistance for you, jump out there if you want to. Somebody said, well, Smith, if they do that, don't you know that you got legal rights? You know what? I would never take them Negroes to court if they wanted to do that. I would never let them have it. Y'all will find out something about me. Let them have it. Anybody who don't want to be with me, I don't want you to be with me. If I had a dog, he didn't want to stay at my house, I'd let him go. Anybody who don't want to be there, go. Because the world is too big. My challenge is too strong. My unction, my purpose, I know who I am. So I'm not going to tie you up to keep you with me. I know what I got to do. And God is not even going to let me die until I get done doing what I have to do. So all of the witches, all the warlocks, all of the attacks, all of the preachers, everybody who thought I should not be here, and everybody who had a problem with me, get used to it, because he's not done with me. And I'm just not talking about me. Everybody up in here, you need to know your job being assigned to me means you cannot be defeated. You cannot be struck down or stopped until our task is done. This happens during the month. You got to almost run from here, because if you don't run from here, you got to put up with everything that comes with changing an environment that has been the status quo forever. God is not about status quo. God is always about continuously growing and developing. I want to do the second word first. Then our scripture is in Jeremiah, the 5th. That Mama Mamie. Hey, baby girl, I've been missing you so much. Hey, that's our church mother. Now, I'm going to bounce a little bit with this, but I'm going to keep it condensed, and I'm going to try to keep it in order so y'all will think that, I sort of studied or something. And because I want you to understand, we are not here to be a cutie pie, well-manicured, friendly church. In fact, God told me this morning, it's the reason why I put your church right on the county line, Anderson and Greenville. It's the reason why I strategically placed you there. There's some things that God's going to do, and there's some really heartbroken and messed up and disturbed people who need a radical thinker and a radical person and a radical purpose, or else their issue is not going to be fixed. See, a lot of us got issues that we avoid. We don't want to deal with them. And the church world has been reduced down and dummied down so far that it's ridiculous. Let's go here just for a second and deal with these words. The first word I want to deal with is called gentrification. Gentrification. This word is a term that they go into major cities and they clean out the slums. They move the inhabitants of those slums out, giving them a voucher that says you can move back when we rebuild. But what they do, they get rid of them because they want to move it up to middle class or upper middle class. So when they're finished with the project, you can't afford to live where you used to live. Okay, y'all gonna talk to me. And so these two words are coming together because our churches, especially the Black Pentecostal church, has turned into slum lords and slums, downgraded, and everybody. Now, the problem with the ghetto church is it becomes a new norm to you. So it's normal to live on people's welfare checks. It's normal to have 6 and 7 kids living in the house and everybody trying to use their Social Security number to get more money at income tax time. It's normal to shack up. Oh, y'all stop me when y'all get ready now. It's normal for the basketball rims in the hood to be bent down. It's normal for no grass to grow out there. It's normal for oil pots and stains to be in the concrete and the cement. It's normal for screen doors to be tore up looking, screen all out. Who's crying? And we get used to that. And we get used to that. And it becomes who we are. Our neighborhoods are known for nicknames. You ain't got to say the real name. You can call it in the Little Vietnam. Hollywood Apartments. Everybody gives it a name because the drug dealers and the slingers protect that property. And so they sell it to their own people, and the own folks are messed up. My point is there's a downgrade in the mental capacity of everybody who lives there. And so the greater community wants to get rid of them, but they don't know how to. So let's give you a voucher to move to another ghetto while we fix up this ghetto. Not knowing that ultimately our real goal is to get rid of you completely. Oh my God, I think it was Katrina when she came to New Orleans. They got rid of folks in the lower 9th district. They didn't want them back in New Orleans. Those people are living in Houston, Dallas, Mississippi, New Mexico, displaced because they use that as a method to get rid of you without getting rid of you the way they wanted to get rid of you. Now, let's go to this other word before we start working, because I'm trying to build a point here. I got to preach this afternoon, so I'm going to try to save a little bit of energy, hopefully. The other word is called eugenics. Eugenics is a so-called scientific term. It's not really scientific to me because whenever you got people who systematically try to get rid of you and makes you think it's all right to get rid of you, and you have no idea that you've gotten rid of. The science of improving a human population by controlled breeding to increase the desired hereditary characteristics. It was developed by this dude named Francis Gatlin. It's set up as a means to improve the human race. Okay, let me help. They say if your mama was a prostitute, you'll probably be one. If your daddy was an alcoholic, you'll probably be one. If your parents are broke and poor, you'll be broke and poor. So America started it at the turn of the 20th century. They were trying to eliminate races that they thought were inferior and causing us to go into a downward spiral. People were dealing with that until Nazism tried to do, y'all have heard the term ethnic purging. People try to get rid of you if you're black. They try to get rid of you if you're this. They try to get rid of you that. Like I said, our president, our current president, he has that in the back of his mind, but there's a smarter way of doing it, but he's still doing the same thing. Oh my God. God gave me a term called reverse eugenics. Reverse eugenics is not getting rid of, regular eugenics is getting rid of the undesirables at the bottom of the totem pole. Reverse eugenics is getting rid of the people who are the brightest and the sharpest. Our churches now don't have any qualities, any qualifications, any standards for you to say you're a preacher. Uh-oh. For you to say you got a calling on your life without doing anything, you got an unction, you got gas. Your unction and your feeling is dictated to by, so now the standards are so low that anybody can step into it. The standards, see, you got to have a certain SAT and ACT in order to get into the top universities in the country. You can't get into MIT. I thank God for Brother Jermaine, because their school is letting folk in, and we should. But we did that because our system had gotten so watered down and diluted that I got to lower the standards in order to get people in. And it's better to get you a little bit of education than for you to be running rampant on the street, killing and acting crazy. And so the problem is, in reverse eugenics, they've gotten rid of the qualities and the standards for excellence, so now everybody could feel like you accept it. You're not going to like me. So our churches are in trouble. People now criticize and are critical of everything, even if you have the means to help it. The Bible said if you see somebody destitute and you don't stop and pick them up, what good are you? We're living in a world now that God has given me a message, and I thank all of you guys for listening to the radio. I've been getting a lot of feedback. I thank God for that, because I'm going to talk about everything that God gives me to talk about. I'm under attack because Satan did not want my message to get out. Over the next 20 years, over the next season, God has given me something that's going to stir up the pot. He's given me something that's going to anger some people. I'm here because God sent me. Okay, I'm going to say it. I've said it once before. Let it get out. I know they're watching. I'm sent here as a replacement for Carpenter's apostleship. He sent me here 10 years before he left, because it was going to take 10 years for God to establish. I don't care who else been here. Doesn't matter. See, it would have been different had redemption stayed. But redemption didn't stay. The name was taken. The oil dried up. Now it's open for anybody that has, but I know God sent me here. God sent me here, and he used the means of getting me here by someone who ended up hating me. You see, you never know who you're going to hate until the attraction brings you in, and then they don't do what you want them to do. Uh-oh, I'm going to be real. I'm raw and real today. I could deal with it. Because if I got to preach to 2 or 2 million, it don't matter to me. You're still going to get the same passion. And so what happens here is that the attraction to bring me, but then the dissatisfaction of I can't move or mold him. Let me tell you something. If your steps are ordered by God, though you may fall, you shall not utterly be cast down, for the Lord shall uphold you with his hand. We've done things that God allowed to happen. Okay. Because your maturity is based on your ability to learn from your mistake or to gain an advantage down the road. Some of y'all had to get your heart broke. You're a better picker now. Some of y'all had to be done wrong, because now your discernment has been sharpened. Some of y'all had to go through some madness. Some of y'all had to be rejected. Some of y'all had to be drugged through the mud. Some of y'all had to be dealt wrong by your family. Some of y'all had to lose your money. Some of y'all had to y'all ain't talking to me. Many things have to happen to you, because if God is going to use you, I got to insulate you from a future that could destroy you. Look at somebody and say, it's a miracle I'm still here. Everybody couldn't take some of the stuff y'all had to go through. Some of y'all didn't understand it while you were going through it. That's why the old people used to sing the song, Father, a long will. Know all about it. Father, a long will understand why. Cheer up, my brother. Live in the sunshine, because we'll understand it better by and by. Oh my God. Some of y'all in here didn't think you was going to make it out of your worst trial. We can look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, guess what? You are a solution to a problem. Now, that becomes your burden, man. It becomes, you can't run from it, because you ain't got to like coming here, but you got to know why you're here. Oh my God. Because God put you here. And I don't care how he did it. He did it. The bottom line is you're here. Bottom line is you in the upstate. Bottom line is you close in. Bottom line you bumped it. Bottom line you got here some kind of way. And a lot of times we don't understand how God uses things to get things done. God is a master chess player. God will do something 15 years ago that ain't supposed to really help you until this year. God will let something happen to you years ago. You have no idea what's on God's mind. And then you say, okay, he lets you develop. Because kairos is so much more electric and urgent than chronos. Chronos is the human antidote to kairos. Because you don't know why he left, why she left, why they left. You don't know why you got here, how you got here. You didn't put in for this. On my dream sheet, when I was in the military, I put California and I put Texas. They gave me Texas, the bottom of the line Texas. When I put my next dream sheet in, I said California. I was trying to get west. Florida. I was in Korea then. I ended up in Korea. God said, let me check. I put California, I put Florida, and I might have put Texas, and I ended up in South Carolina. Now, South Carolina was nowhere on my dream sheet. In fact, what is South Carolina? I had heard of North Carolina because, the Tar Heels was always running the show in basketball. You didn't hear nothing about South Carolina back in those days. And so had no idea that they were the first state that seceded from the Union. Had no idea that more lynchings and more murders happened in South Carolina than any other place. We was hearing about Mississippi and Alabama. They said, no, you better go to South Carolina. We didn't know that in the 1960s and 70s, they still had sharecropping in South Carolina. Many things was going on in South. I said, God, why you got me here? Plus, there were some people that was at my base in Korea that I didn't like that well that was coming here. So I figured I'd get rid of them all in one quick, swift boot. And I ended up with them together, and we started what we had to start, and it was crazy. And then God says, here's why I sent you there strategic. He says, what you got to understand about South Carolina, the first shot of the Civil War happened at Fort Sumter in Charleston, South Carolina. He says not only was it the first state to secede from the Union, he said slave ships came directly into the shores of Charleston, South Carolina. There's a spirit in South Carolina. The Brown versus the Board of Education. The first case, there were 7 cases in that Brown versus the Board of Education. The first case was right here in South Carolina, Briggs versus Elliott in Clarendon County. And the reason why they couldn't use that case, because they had to use a northern state, because they would have never gotten off the ground had it been Briggs versus Elliott. But the first case, everything that was dreadful, everything that was terrible, the slave trade, the spiritual mindset, the spirits that were in the dirt, all were right here. God said, I'm sending you to the front line. Because okay, let me help you again. When the revival started, the Azusa revival started on the West Coast. God says, I don't move west to east. God said the sun rises in the east, it sets in the west. He says, so the revival was backwards. Oh my God, y'all ain't gonna like me. The revival was backwards. It was still race driven. It was still messed up. He said, but the new revival, the sun is going to rise in the east. It's going to start. It's happening in South Carolina. The greatest revival that you've ever seen is happening here. And I know what I'm saying is going in some of y'all ear and out there. Yeah, right. Yeah. You're going to be able to stand back just like them fellas that was dogging out Noah, holler about open the door and let us in. I ain't letting you in. Because you laughed when I was building something that you didn't understand what I was building and why I was building it. 100 and some odd years building a boat and it ain't never rained. Some of y'all have been assigned to something that is greater than the general public can see right now. And Satan has successfully broke us down, reduced us, brought us to a place of a diluted state, has brought us down to a watered down environment that anything can go, where a jump, a shout, a holler, and a scream is greater than the knowledge of God. I know I'm not going to get much of it. Maybe the people that are watching live stream are enjoying this more than y'all. And the first thing you got to understand is, God, where am I in this? Have I been reduced down to a complainer? Have I been reduced down to challenging everything that I don't even understand? The reason why you can't see what I see, because you ain't been where I've been. You can't love who I love. You can't take what I can take. Most people would have gave up. When I drove up through here, knowing what God has done for me in the past, where you couldn't get a parking place, and I got to drive up in here week after week, and you got room to do whatever you want to do. God says, you better trust me, because if you counting on people, if you counting on the offering, he said, anything that you count on, I'm going to turn over. Jesus turned over tables because they were counting the money from the money changers. God told me, if you ever think that your ministry is based on money and population, I'll kill you dead. You got to understand that my hope is built on nothing less than Jesus' blood and his righteousness. I dare not trust the sweetest frame, but wholly lean on Jesus' name, on Christ, the solid rock I stand. All other ground is sinking sand. Listen to me and pray with me. God took me to Jeremiah, and I'm almost finished because we got another service. And I want y'all to follow me. They asked me how many people was I bringing because they making dinner for us. I said, I don't know. I said, we fasting. It'll be past 3 o'clock though. So I hope. Last time we went, I think the food was sort of good. Last time we went. So all of y'all, my choir, I need my choir that's gonna sing. I need folk that's because it goes. How dedicated are we to what we do? I never want to use my past, but my past, I couldn't say I'm going somewhere. It'd be 30 or 40 cars and buses following me up and down the road. Most of the time, we had way more people than the folks we went to preach for. They couldn't get, and so when I raised the offering, I was raising an offering from my own folk. It got to a point one time, I ain't gonna mention the name, in one of Marshall's old churches. The people were told, don't give, let them give. Well, I'm a little bit too crazy too, and I got up, I said, look, this is your pastor's anniversary. This is supposed to be for your pastor, not me. I'm a little bit too crazy to play games for long. I'll play with you for a little while. I'll laugh with you for a little while. We can have fun for a little while. But when you challenge my anointing, when you challenge my apostolic mantle, when you challenge who I am, now you're going to deal with the real Negro. And I'm going to tell you right now, I ain't got a losing record. I don't fight my own battles. I want to. I would love to most of the time fight my own battle, but God won't let me. Why did he call me? Because I ain't no punk. I ain't scared of nothing or nobody. He can only use you if you will say, you'll take your trumpet out and you'll blow it. I've had churches, David, Calvin, some of y'all up in here, where I've had witches in my congregation in Sumter, where they looked at me and challenged me to preach, where I would walk out of the pulpit and stand right in front of them. You gonna make me be a punk in my daddy's house? Either you gonna come up out of here. If God be for me, incantations, doing all, I don't care nothing about your demonic stuff. Greater is he that's in me than he that's in the world. You can't be afraid of that stuff. God called you and he equipped you and he energized you and he strengthened you to be the head and not the tail. Not afraid of nothing. Do what you want to do to me. Because if God don't want me to die, I feel like David in Psalms 118 and 17. I shall not die, but live to declare the works of God. When I was in the streets, I wasn't scared of nobody. Either I would tell them, if it's my time to go, so be it. But if it ain't my time, that means it's your time. Because one of us is leaving here today. Yeah, somebody going to heaven or hell. Didn't matter to me. That's where I came from. I didn't have to tell nobody. I don't know if my bark was bigger than my bite, but they never tried. Because I didn't know how crazy I was either. I know my family was crazy. So they thought all of us was off. Only thing that saved David, I went to the military when he was 7. Because see, David is quiet. Them quiet folk do stuff too. I'm going to talk to you first. I'm going to talk loud too. I was in a barber shop. I was in a clothing store in Greer, and Rock was with me, and one of the main preachers in Spartanburg was in there. And he says, Smith, I ain't too much worried about you because, you know, you let everybody know what you're going to do. He said, but that one that's with you. Because Rock was in there, he ain't said a word. He said, I'm scared of that one right there. Well, I don't blame you. He's sort of scary. But it wasn't the fact that he was big, it was the fact that he wasn't saying nothing. You know them dogs that let you come, then trap you? I'd rather deal with them dogs that's barking and let you know I'm here. You don't want them dogs to let you get in the house and they say, try to get out, nigga. I'm letting you up in here, but you ain't getting out. In Jeremiah, the 5th chapter, and I'm almost finished, 5 and 20. Now, and I'm like this, people that watch me, people that come here, I'll never be mad at you for not wanting to because I understand. I understand who I am. I understand that everything don't live. Magnets have a repel side and they have a magnetic side. So I don't get messed up if you can't handle me. A lot of people can't handle me because, but I'm the same. Some people love to hate me. And some people hate to love me. Yeah, both of them is bad. I'm going to be the same. The Bible says, the man that sweareth to his own hurt and changeth not. That's who I am, man. I ain't no fluttery chameleon. You know, what you get with me, you're going to get all the time. You know, and so I think that anybody that knows God is going to be pretty consistent. David was the New York City Community Choir, had a song out many years ago, This Old Man is Still the Same. It's something about people who you can say, I mean, I'll give you the shirt off my back. Isn't it something that most folk know you for what they don't like about you? You might do 100 things good and 2 things bad, and they remember the 2. They discuss the 2 things that you did wrong or that they didn't like. And sometimes God lets them do them 2 things to see if you can still love them in spite of them 2 things. Most of us don't have the capacity to embrace somebody that is abrasive to us. Verse 20 says, declare this in the house of Jacob and publish it in Judah. That's us. That's us. The black, the African American, modern day Pentecostal church is more related to the Hebrews than any other group. That tribe that came from the southern kingdom, which was Joseph and Benjamin. Judah, which aligned with them, consisted of the southern kingdom. They looked like y'all. When Rome invaded, they fled to Africa. They fled to Africa by the millions. And the reason why they could go to Africa, they looked like Africans. They were not Caucasus. They were not the Caucasus. They had dark skin. Rachel was dark. And I'm just trying to help you all a little bit. So when they were sent over and they went to, well, the blessings of God came with them. And for 150 years to 200 years, they became millionaires in Africa, in the eastern Ivory Coast. I need to get off this because I don't think y'all like this. And so it was the Africans that sold the black Jews into slavery. So many of those millions that died in the overpass were black Hebrews. The ones that got through were your ancestors. The books kept it hidden so that you would not know who you are. And now information is coming out and many people are confused. Who am I? I'll tell you who you are. That's why blessings are on your life. That's how come 400 years of slavery couldn't mess you up, because you came from a people that was in slavery for 400 years. Y'all ain't gonna like me up in here. It's in your blood to make it. It's in your system to make it. Something about you cannot be denied. They tried everything. You won't die. I need to stop this. Why do you think you're still here? Oh, it's gonna come out. It's going to come out. Oh, it's going to come out. Look at one of my frets over there. It's going to come out. It's going to come out. Look at somebody say it's going to come out. You're going to find out that you're not a refugee of somebody that you was misidentified as. You're going to understand that you are the lost tribe. And in the last day, he's bringing the lost tribe. Now, let me talk to you. Let me tell you. That's why people are so confused now, because you have been misidentified. You're a victim of identity theft. You don't know who you are, so you don't know what to ask for. You don't know what your inheritance is. Eugenics and gentrification coming together to eliminate what was, to get rid of you, to upgrade it, or to just eliminate your brand whatsoever. But look at somebody said it can't work because of God before me. He says in verse 21, he says, hear now this, O foolish people, and without understanding, which have eyes and see not, which have ears and hear not. Next verse. Fear ye not me? Here's God. Oh, I'm going to try to see. I know I'm bothering some people, Nisi. But if I don't tell the truth, Marcy, oh my God, then woe unto me. You know, I was watching us, you know, we be fan, you know, it was cool the last few days. I'll be watching some shows on TV, Sylvester. And did y'all know people who don't want to be around black people move to Alaska or Antarctica? Ain't no black people there. I be watching Life Below Zero. No black. How to build in Alaska, not in Anchorage. No, I'm talking about way out there where ain't nothing but moose and coyotes and wolverines. Arctic Circle, no blacks. So you can get away with it because you ain't got to say nothing bad. Just move there. They ain't moving. I can see a black grandmama on a porch, 108 degrees, 200% humidity. Fan and saying, but Lord, it's hot in here. Ask Mama, you want to move to Alaska? No. Eating whale blubber and seal. Caribou. Cutting that stuff up. Holler about, I love living on the land. You by yourself. Closest I'm coming to a caribou is on TV. God was dealing with a group of people. And he says, don't y'all fear me? Y'all better hear me. I got a few minutes. Y'all don't fear me. And most of us in here, we don't fear God. We've lost reverence for God. When we get sick, we want him to heal us. When we get broke, we want him to send us some money. When we're heartbroken, we want God to heal our heart. But we're not fearing God in our everyday life. I could count the folk, I'm about to get in real trouble now, who show up for prayer. You know, you ain't got to. You know, it's not a mandated service. But I could count the folk who come to Bible study. I built my church in something through prayer and Bible study. We only have church, really. So, some folks do once a week. You eat every day. You come to God's house once a week. And then got the nerve to look at your wrists. And some of y'all are bold enough to turn your neck around to look at the clock behind you. Some of y'all cool enough just to flash it on your phone. Once a week. You want God to be with you all the time. Well, I ain't got to come to church. Well, the Bible said, forsake not the assembling of yourself together, as others did, and God destroyed them in the wilderness. We've lost our urgency. Ooh, this man, if I know I was going to preach like this, maybe I'll probably preach good this afternoon. But at the house, got to get the house straight. Got to get the house straight. I'd rather have 10 people that was faithful than 200 that are wishy-washy, in and out. Put their needs above God's needs. Why? How dare you sit in your paneled houses and let my house go to waste? When we got in here, didn't have nothing to do with probably anybody that's sitting here today. It was God who provided. Had anybody, some people trip when you give. Man, the more you give, the more God's going to bless you. I told y'all last week, your job is never to supply your need. It's to provide seed. When seed is sown, God sends men to give into your bosom. Pressed down, shaken together, running over, shall men give into your bosom. You broke now because you work and you pay your bills, but you don't sow into God's house. Will a man rob God? You do it all the time. Isn't that something? That's like taking a 38 or 40 cal and telling God, stick it up. Stick them up. This is the kind of message that'll get folks that I'm not coming back. And you think, man, do you think that really would bother me? Don't let the doorknob hit you where the good Lord splits you. I know it's rough, baby, but I'm doing what I got to do today. I'll be nice another time. I don't want hostages. I want volunteers. I want people who are led by the Spirit. I want folk to want to see me succeed and see this ministry succeed. I want people to want to see this area succeed. Well, we can do it. It's a bunch of churches around here. And you could probably help somebody. I'd rather you be with somebody that you like, that you want to help, than with me and don't want to help, because then you become a weight. Not that it's going to bother me, but still, don't waste your time or mine. I'm talking to folks that's watching live stream and folk that are in here. You have eyes, but you can't see. You have ears, but you can't hear. Don't you fear me, saith the Lord? Will ye not tremble at my presence? Which, cause let me tell you something. If God wanted you dead, he could pull the plug on you. Someone sent me an inbox this morning about some white guy in Sumter by the name of DJ Kid or something, who has infected over 700 black girls with AIDS and HIV. I've been gone too long, I don't know. Daughters, black girls got pictures all splashed over. I don't know what's going on. To carry you smile, you might have heard about this, people. Yeah, because you know everything. I just hope you ain't never dealt with them. Anybody with a daughter don't want their what kind of, I don't know if I heard, what kind of degenerative parent would not or would raise their children that they would get turned on by somebody who promised them that you're going to make it? If somebody going to promise me I'm going to make it as a star, show me the resume of the people that have made it so far. I'm going to make it mad, dang. Show me some people that you done put on stage. And then you got AIDS, and you're killing, you infected these baby girls. Some as young as the age of 11. He should go to prison for murder or attempted murder. Y'all ain't liking me up in here today. Where is the church, church? Our church is so into us, me, myself, and I. Will you not tremble at my presence, which have placed the sand for the bounds of the sea? He said, man, I'm God. I'm the one that laid the earth in place by a perpetual decree that it cannot pass it. And though the waves thereof toss themselves, yet they cannot prevail. Though they roar, yet they cannot pass over it. In other words, I set up this planet. Remember what he told Job, and I got to get you out of here because y'all ain't liking this. Where were you at, Job, when Job said, just take me? Where was you at, Job, when I laid the foundation of the earth? Where were you at when I scooped the bottoms out of the planet and laid the foundations of the world? Where were you at when the sons of God sang for joy and the trees clapped their hands together? Where were you at, boy? How you gonna tell me my job? How you gonna tell me who I am? I'm the one that set it up. I'm the same one who put the sun 93 million miles away. I'm the same one who put the moon 253,000 miles away. I'm the one that took stars like silver-crested nails driven into the vaults of heaven. I'm God. I'm the one that made ebb and flow, lunar laws and solar laws. I'm the one that did that. How dare you question me? I'm about to finish, y'all. Next verse. Then he got mad. He said, yet this people has a revolting and rebellious heart. They are revolted and gone. That means if you don't come here with an expectation, this church would have been full already, but there's too many spots in here who hate the move. And God got to wait to get rid of them so he could send people in, because he don't want you contaminating folks that are innocent and just need somebody to love them. Next verse. Neither say they in their heart, let us now fear the Lord our God, that giveth rain, both the former and the latter, in this season. He reserveth unto us the appointed weeks of the harvest. Next verse. I'm going to show y'all something. Your iniquities have turned away these things, and your sins have withholden good things from you. Next verse. For among my people I found wicked men and women. They lay in wait as they that set snares. They set a trap and they catch men. Next verse. He said, as a cage full of birds, so are their houses full of deceit. Therefore, they are become great and have waxed rich. In other words, he says, they messed you up so bad so that they could flourish off of your frailties. We ain't just talking about a church. We talking about a community, a country, a nation. Next verse. He said, they are waxed fat. They shine, yea, they overpass the deeds of the wicked. In other words, if you do it nasty, we ain't gonna say nothing about that one. They judge not the cause of the fatherless, yet they prosper. And the right of the needy do they not judge. Next verse. Shall I not visit for these things? Look at somebody, David, get on the instrument because I might ride in a minute. He says, shall I not visit these things? You think you're going to keep on letting it happen? You think I ain't going to come and do something about your slothfulness, your slack and your lack? You think I'm just going to sit back and just allow things to happen because you have lost the urgency? And I'll tell you when to hit something. He says, shall I not visit these things, saith the Lord? Shall not my soul be avenged on such a nation as this? Next verse. He says, a wonderful and horrible thing is committed in the land. Now, here's where it gets crazy, baby, then I'm going to be done. Next verse. The prophets prophesy falsely, and the priests or the preachers bear rule by their own means. Now here's the part, Victor, that broke my heart. And my people love to have it so. And my people love to have it so. Then he says, and what will ye do in the end? What you gonna do about it? Lord, fix me. What you gonna do about it? What you gonna do about it? I know what I got to do. TJ said those little 5 things. TJ said something. Man, this little face recognition don't recognize me. TJ said this. TJ said this. TJ said, prayer, preaching, giving, worship, serving, or discipleship. I need you to grade yourself real quick right now. Remember in school they said, let you grade yourself sometimes, you have to grade your own test. Prayer, do you pray? Do you listen to the preaching? Is there revelation coming? Are you giving? Are you a worshiper? And is your discipleship or your servitude? And I ain't just talking about little special programs. Y'all might not want to come to the state line with me today because somebody might be mad at the old boy. But I'm good with me. Because ain't nobody got the answer for me but me. Y'all hear me? We are victims of gentrification. God, let me move, let me get rid of this ghetto mindset. This is gonna put them out to pasture. Let it be upgraded in the sight of men. And let them move in. And then you ain't got nowhere to go. I'm gonna tell y'all something. Satan is so sneaky. He knows how to get you out of your place by promising you something that cannot be manufactured or dealt with, and then when you're looking for some help, you ain't got nobody. God told me this in a dream the other day. He said, Smith, many people who have rejected you are going to need to come to you because you're going to have what they need, or I'm going to be the channel. And I got to decide. Well, I ain't got to decide because God, people that accepted me on my way while I was building the ark, people that understood me, you deal with them. Folks that didn't want you then, but then they're going to want you when, you can't deal with them. Oh, I know what's going to happen. I know what's going to happen when God starts blessing in here. I know what's going to happen when God fill this house up and fill this, and we buy all the property and we start breaking ground. I know what's going to happen. Everybody going to want to be around you now because people get excited about new shiny things. They get excited about stuff that looks like it's happening, but they can't deal with what it takes to get it there. I know what's going to happen. He showed it to me daily in my visions. How come it couldn't kill me to this point? Hatred couldn't kill you to this point, Sammy. People backstabbing you couldn't kill you to this point. People dogging you out, talking about you, couldn't kill you to this point. It ain't gonna start now. If God be for me, who could be against me? Everybody in here today and everybody that's listening to me, God is saying, don't you fear me. Do you know your assignment? Do you know your job? Your steps have been ordered. You're where I want you to be. People like David who can rave, who can go and make zillions of dollars with their gifts and talents. But they're here. Jermaine, college president, could do all kinds of stuff. He's here. See, some people are here because they're assigned to be here. You don't come to grace because you like grace. You come to grace because you've been assigned by God. You don't come here to have a glee club and a country club and somebody that's going to be your boo. You up in here because of assignment. You can join somebody else's church. That's why I love about the Grand Old Church of God in Christ. They said you can't join in. Hey, you got to be born in. And see, when you're born in, Marcy, it's more than just I'm coming to church. It ain't I got to go. Now I get to go. I got to give. I get to give. I want God to fix us. We got one more week, pretty much, because next Sunday night we're going to be fasting, doing communion next Sunday night. Now, I didn't know this, but my sister told me this, that David goes from, we're going to look at that. David actually starts after the first communion and goes to the last communion. All right, he said he didn't tell her that. That means fake news. Fake news. Because I was about to join David. Fake news. He said, yeah, David said, and David said it's officially after the first communion to the next. And last year we had 5 Sundays. And then Elder Anthony Adams came up with his suggestion in the suggestion box. Let's change the fast to January. And his reasons was, I done spent all my money on Christmas anyway, and he was logical. Because how do we get stuck with October, man? Oktoberfest, fair, everything. My daughter, she be trying to be a sweetheart. She went to the state fair last year and bought me back 2 of them sausage, them hot with all the stuff. But by the time it got to me, now y'all know you sticking that stuff in the microwave is demonic. That's a demon. It don't taste the same. You got to eat it right when they cook it. When your mouth get all funny looking, you say, man, because you're trying to slurp that. You can't bring it an hour and a half and set it on the sink. How about I bought you? You need to bring the fair here. Singers, come up here for a second. Babies, I love y'all. I love this area. I love this arena. I love why I'm here. I'm never going to leave y'all. I'm never going to allow the enemy to discourage me because I know why I'm here. And I want y'all to understand that when you accept your assignment, God will speed up the results. God will speed up the results. He's not going to send you where you want to go. Like the military, we had dream sheets. Dr. Adams, we ain't got no dream sheet in the gospel kingdom. Everybody was military. Y'all said, that dream sheet, boy, you were listening, yeah. I'm going to Las Vegas. I want to go to Hawaii. They don't even look at them things. At the bottom of it, it says, the dream sheet, you must understand, will be considered, but DOD needs trumps out everything. In other words, I don't care where you want to go. You go where we want you to go. Y'all remember this song? How many? Oh Lord, send me, fix me, fix me, fix me, Jesus. Y'all look so pretty. Fix me, fix me, fix me, Jesus. This is what we're doing today. Oh Lord, let me hear you say, fix me. Oh Lord, fix me. Nobody can fix me like you can. Oh Lord, fix me. Fix me, Jesus. Break it down just a little bit. Let me tell you something. You got to first admit, I need some fixing. If you cannot first admit, I need some fixing, God can't fix you. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, you know your check engine light been coming on. And until you take it to the proper place, that thing is gonna gradually get worse. But if you ask God to fix you today, I guarantee you, he'll get it right with you. I got a witness. Come on, seconds, and I want whoever needs to be fixed to get up out of their seat and come and stand in front of me. Oh, Lord. Fix me. Oh, Lord. Fix me. I can't make it on my own. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord, I want you to fix me, Jesus. Hey, Jesus. Let me hear you do it again. Oh, Lord, fix me. Father, you love that name. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord, fix me. Yeah, fix me. Oh Lord, fix me. I want you to fix me, Jesus. Hey. Break it down, fellas. Y'all get close enough where you can touch somebody, make contact with somebody that's up here. God is doing something in your life. God is about to bless you like you've never been blessed before. God is going, young man, I was looking at you. Something powerful God is working out for you. Somebody fix the microphones. He's working out something mighty for you, something that you and God know about. God says, it's done. Fix me. Brother Blake, God bless you, man. Fix me. Do it again, y'all. Do it again. Make that just oh, Lord.
Fix me.
Oh, Lord.
Fix me.
I'm talking to you, Jesus. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Nobody can do me like you. Hey, me. Do it again, y'all. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Fix me. I lay myself before you, Lord. I come before you with everything I have. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Yeah. Fix me. Listen. Let me show what God is doing. God, when you got up and came and stood in front of me today, he says, I know everything you have need of. I know your heart. I know where you want to go. I know who you are. When you got up out of your seat, you told God, I know there's a better place. I know there's a higher plateau. I know that there's something that I'm missing right now that you're going to make sure I get it together. My ears are going to be shut down to negativism. My ears are going to be shut down to things that are contrary. But God, open me up to the positiveness of God. Open me up to the greatness of God. Open me up to family and community. And open me up, God. Let this church be a true community. Let this ministry overflow. Let this ministry increase. And Father, whatever's wrong, we're inviting you to fix it and make it right. Now I want you to say, I am healed. Oh yeah, that's good. I am free. I am promoted. I am increased. That's what God wants. He don't want your yesterday to determine who you are. He wants your determination to be your future, your next, not your past. Yeah, we might have did some things before, but right now it's a new season. Somebody says it's a new season. I want you to say, old things have passed away. Behold, all things have become new. Now, people who don't love you will keep on bringing up your past. But people that really know you, they're going to see you for who God has caused you to be. I want y'all to say, I'm not the same anymore. Oh, say it again, I'm not the same anymore. My concepts have changed. I got new ideas. I got fresh starts. In the name of Jesus, I am whatever the word says I am. I can do whatever the word says I can do in Jesus' name. Now put those hands together and give God some praise. Now go hug about 3 people and tell them it's all right. Hey, 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 fix me. Go back to your seats, praising God. Let's do it again, let's do it again. Oh Lord, fix me. I can't do it by myself, Lord. Fix me. I need you to fix me, Jesus. Oh Lord, oh Lord, oh Lord. Yeah. Let's do it one more time. Oh Lord, fix me. I want you to fix me, Jesus. Oh Lord, fix me. I tried it on my own. I couldn't do it. So I need you, Lord. Oh Lord, oh Lord. Yeah. Fix me, fix me, fix me, fix me, fix me.